Very rarely in the NFL at the quarterback position can you look at a player's stat line and determine, yes, 100% this was the type of game a player had. Now, if a quarterback's team loses something along the lines of 31-7 or 27-6 or something along those lines, and the quarterback threw for no touchdowns and 3 or 4 interceptions, then most of the time you can attribute and say, the quarterback did not have a good game, and therefore the NFL team that he plays for also did not have a good game, and the quarterback put them in a position to lose. However, you can very much look at Trevor Lawrence's stat line from his final preseason game of his rookie season on Sunday and determine, wow, Trevor had one heck of a game, and he was absolutely slicing the Cowboys secondary, which both in this case are true. And in today's video, we are going to be breaking down Trevor Lawrence's game, in which he finished 11 for 12 with 2 touchdown passes, and the only incompletion of the day was on 3rd and 4 near the Cowboys' 50-yard line, so had they completed that 3rd down, then there was a very good possibility Trevor finished with 3 passing touchdowns. This was a very good game for Trevor and the Jags when he was on the field, and ultimately they did win by 20 points, so all in all, it was a good game in Urban Meyer's final preseason game of his first year in the NFL. So, without further ado, let's dive into Trevor Lawrence's 3rd preseason game breakdown. And one thing I do quickly want to note is the Cowboy starters on defense were not playing. So Micah Parsons, Leighton Vander Esch, Jalen Smith, DeMarcus Lawrence, and everyone else did not play against Trevor and the Jags. So in theory, if you do want to say Trevor should have had a good game against those players when him and Laviska and James Robinson and everyone else were out there, then yes, you are probably right. However, there are a lot of things that I think you can take away positively from this game, and we're going to start with the first touchdown pass Trevor threw. The first thing I want to highlight from this first touchdown pass to Pharoh Cooper was this head fake by Pharoh, and while doing this simultaneously, Trevor was pump faking, meaning corner Shenault Wright, who was a late 3rd round pick, had nothing to do at this point. He bit hard on the pump fake, it was a double move, and the head nod combined with the pump fake left Shenault in a state of nothing, where all he could do at this point in time was either reach up and try and grab Pharoh Cooper, which he tried to do unsuccessfully, and it ended in a touchdown. And when a quarterback and receiver are on the same page, like Trevor and Pharoh were here, with this chemistry and this ability, it's going to be tough for any corner, let alone a rookie 3rd round corner, to defend. And when a corner is put in this position that Shenault is as invisibly beat, all they can do is hope that they can grab a hold of the receiver and get a 5-yard penalty. Even a spot foul, which would have been about 10 yards in this case, wouldn't have been the worst case, as the worst case was obviously a touchdown. But Shenault Wright was beat, and it was due in large part to the preparation by both Trevor Lawrence and Pharoh Cooper on this play. And again, I have fully acknowledged and realized the talent that Shenault Wright has compared to maybe another corner that Trevor and them will face this year, but I want to reiterate and emphasize how quality of a play this was by both Trevor and Pharoh. And it's not like Pharoh is a product of this play, because he had to make Shenault Wright get off of him and miss in the first place, which he successfully did with the head fake, and what was a beautiful double move, and then what was a beautifully thrown ball by Trevor resulted in a touchdown for the Jaguars. Now, one thing to note is Trevor finished 11 of 12 for 139 yards and 2 touchdowns, but one thing to note out of this is a couple of Trevor's throws, and quickly realizing 3 of his throws at least were short give-me throws that I'm not exaggerating when I say this, most people watching this video could have made, because it's simply a play-action fake where the whole line crashes left, leaving Trevor with a naked bootleg to just a 6-yard throw is not exactly something to break down, because it's quite frankly something a high school quarterback should be able to do, let alone a number 1 overall pick with the most hype since Andrew Luck. So there really is no point in breaking down some of these throws, and a couple of them were checkdowns or just little dumps to the flat, and they're really, again, not worthy of sitting here breaking down and saying, wow, Trevor just throws the ball with such force here to James Robinson out in the flats. It's not worth it. But this next play I do want to highlight was a pass to James, and I probably am botching this, James O'Shaughnessy. Hopefully that's right, but it was a 12-yard completion, and the reason why I want to highlight this is you'll see Trevor on the run throw an absolute dart. And obviously when we talk about arm strength in quarterbacks, you think of players like Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes right away, but the velocity that Trevor throws with this football is incredible, and a lot of the times quarterbacks, and especially young quarterbacks, have trouble differing velocities and they'll either throw it kind of like Josh Allen did at the beginning, where it's like 100 miles an hour every throw. And now, as you've seen 2 and 3 years into Josh's career, he's improved big time, and there's a lot more touch on his throws, and not every single throw comes out like a bullet out of his hand. And that's a good thing for Trevor to show here, is that he has multiple times throughout the preseason changed velocities when he needs to. And this was one pass I wanted to highlight, was simply knowing the situation and the tight window that he had to throw into to James O'Shaughnessy here for a 12-yard first down. Now, Trevor Lawrence was the presumable number 1 overall pick since his freshman year at Clemson, and for good reason, might I add. But the game on Sunday against the Cowboys was in large part doing the little things right. And when you do the little things right consistently, they add up to pretty big things, and by Trevor consistently just taking what is given and not being overly aggressive or having happy feet at times in the pocket, it culminated in an 11 for 12, 139-yard, 2-touchdown performance. And obviously that is very encouraging for Jags fans as they move towards the regular season, thinking that they have a long-term franchise quarterback, and rightfully so, might I add. The final 2 throws that we are going to discuss in depth were both to Laviska Shenault, and they were the final 2 throws for Trevor's day, and one was a quick slant route that was just a timing route, and again, it's something you love to see, that Trevor is in sync with his guys, and that the Jags' future with Trevor and Laviska on offense seems to be very bright. Trevor looks to rely on Laviska as seen yesterday. There were several plays that Shenault had where it looks like he's going to be a very good weapon for the Jags in the near future, and I really do hope that is the case, because his story in the draft process was phenomenal, and him having the results from all of the work that he's put in for years, not just Trevor by the way, will be, for lack of a better word for Laviska and his family, sweet and relieving. And for him to have the day that he had yesterday looks very promising for the 2021 season, and given that both guys are less than 23 years old, they could very well have a next decade in Jacksonville, and the future for the first time in a couple of years, obviously outside of the 2017 season for Jacksonville, looks insanely bright, and it's obviously due in large part to Trevor Lawrence, but getting the weapons around him is something that the Jags have done very good so far. He has James Robinson, he has Marvin Jones, he has Laviska Shenault, and of course, last but certainly not least, DJ Chark. But on Sunday, it was the Trevor and Laviska show, and I think that is something that we can definitely expect moving forward. Maybe not as much in 2021, but in the years to come after this. Laviska did not have the most productive rookie season, and it was obviously due in large part to being a 1-15 team, and when you are a 1-15 team, generally things do not go well. Obviously, there are some bright spots, like James Robinson, for example, but Laviska having a bad rookie season statistically really should not have come as a surprise, given they selected where they did in the 2021 draft. So as we wrap up today's video with Trevor Lawrence, I do think he has a very bright future that really shouldn't come as a surprise, but I do love the potential of him and Laviska Shenault as a combination for the next 5 to 10 years, and I do think the sky is the limit for both of these young men. Anyways, that's all I have for today's video. If you ever have a video suggestion, please let me know in the comments. Now is the time to do so, and at this time, I ask that you like the video and subscribe to the channel. It would mean the world, and it would also help the channel grow, and that would mean the world to me as well. So anyways, until next time, have a great day. Love you guys. Deuces. Peace.